friends, it's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. I'm so glad you could join me here today. I have a whole bunch of really cute Christmas projects made with Authentique's new Jingle Collection. This is the 6x6 pad. This has such a fun retro vibe. Lots of beautiful little patterns, great focal images, just super fun, kind of nostalgic for me because I grew up in the 60s, so that's neat. And then they have a new thing called their component sheet, which is 12 by 12, and I got a little glare there I can see. I'll try to get it so there's no glare. All these wonderful little focal images, tags, sentiments, banner pieces, borders. It's wonderful, and you just punch them out. They're a nice heavyweight cardstock, and I use tons of these in my projects. So the very first thing I wanted to do with this new collection was do a new style of fancy fold card, because I know you guys love fancy folds. This is called an Easel Step Card, and I did not invent this, but I did change it up by changing the size. I wanted mine to be 7 inches wide by 5 inches tall, and you can see this is a really cool card because it's going to stand up on a mantelpiece or a table display or a side table, so it doubles as home decor. And that kind of gives you an idea of the depth. You get great depth and dimension with this. It almost has a shadow box kind of feel. So I layered up, I did stitched around my paper, I added dimensionals back behind this focal image. This is one of those adorable little component pieces. So is this little banner piece here. I just cut it down to fit. Santa's almost here. Some buttons from my stash. Jingle bells because it's Christmas. And then moss and cream ribbon from Really Reasonable Ribbon. And then some Christmassy looking flowers that I had in my stash. I'll tell you, I used a ton of dies in these projects. I just felt like die cutting, and I will list all those dies on my blog. I'll give you the link to my blog in the description below, and I'll also write out the dimensions and the measurements for the panels and the instructions for making this card base. But this actually does open like a standard card, so I've put really cute images here. Here's a little tag I die cut with another little hanger tag on that. I turned this component into a pocket just by gluing on 3 sides. And this is Eileen Hall's gift card die from her book club. And I made a bunch of these to go because, let's face it, we all give lots and lots of gift cards at Christmas now. So this just dresses it up and makes it kind of classy and cool. I will also tell you that this is, I get this from envelopes.com. Ginger Ropp of My Sister Scrapper told me about this place. They make big size cardstock. This was 17 inches long when I started with it. So I didn't have to paper piece. You can make this by paper piecing. You would just have to join 2 8.5 by 11 pieces of cardstock with score tape. We've done that a million times together. And then you would want your joined place to be in one of these back sides where it wouldn't show. But envelopes.com, and I'll put the link to that in my blog as well. So this is actually 12 inches wide. And when I got done, I had this lovely leftover long piece, and I thought, well, what am I going to do with this? So I turned it into just kind of a mini Christmas flip folio. This turned out really cute. I might make more of these. These make great gifts, and it's just a quick, super quick. You can make these in half a day. But this measures just 3 3/4 inches. Yep, by 6 3/4 inches. And what I've done is I've scored and folded this paper, put in some spines to make a little flip folio. So on the cover, look at this peppermint stripe. Isn't that great? And then this is one of the components that I was telling you about, a little Snowflake Charm. These are little birdie flowers, and I'll have the links for those in my blog post too. I just tapped the leaves with a little picket fence distress paint to make them look snowy. This is a Tim Holtz foundry frame that I painted with distress paint and then sprinkled with a glitter clear glitter embossing powder to make it look wintry. And I sprinkled some of that powder, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, inside on the image to give it a little sparkle, and then some little white prills in there. A die cut doily in the back. This is like gray shimmer satin ribbon, and this is red satin snowflake ribbon. Those are from Really Reasonable Ribbon. Then I cut down one of the components. This was actually part of this, and I cut them apart so I could put Believe here and then put the little image in my frame. So it has a magnetic closure, and this flap lifts, and then we're inside. So on the top is a little flap page with a tuck spot and a pocket with a little, let's see, how big is this? You know me, I like to use my scraps, 3.5 by 4 3/4, and used up these scraps. These are from the component sheet, and I used my sanding block to just give a white edge so it looks snowy. And while we're talking about sanding block, I've been meaning to share this tip with you forever. You know how when you get certain items in the mail, they'll have these little styrofoam blocks in them? I wrap sandpaper around those. I put down score tape, and then I just fold my sandpaper. These are the nicest sanding blocks I've ever had. They are really small. You can hold on to them well, and they work great. So I just thought I would mention that. I've been meaning to tell you that for ages. That's free. Merry Christmas. So, of course, you could put a gift card in this pocket if you wanted to turn this into a great gift. This would be so great for grandparents, relatives that live far away, because you could put photos from your Christmas in here. Down here, I've got a little waterfall. These are, I want to say these are 3 5/8 by 4, and let me see, hold on. Yeah, 4.5, and then you score the 1/2-inch flap on there. I created a little belly band just by adding magnets and one of these cute banners from the collection. So this opens out, and then you've got all these wonderful spots. I didn't dress this up because I wanted the folio to close. And you all know I usually have a hard time. I put too many embellishments in, but this is actually small enough that you could mail this, which is lovely for a gift. Little pocket in here with just some little tags. Just using up my scraps. These are from the 6x6 collection. And then I just had a little scrap of red cardstock, and I turned it into a little mini folio. So you could put, you know, whatever in there, movie tickets or something, I don't know. So that's this little guy. Isn't he fun? I love this one. This is a great design. I'm going to make more of these. Anyway, so that's that. And then the next thing I wanted to make, I really wanted to make tags, gift tags, because it's always fun to have fancy gift tags. But then I thought, well, what if I make them so I can hang them on the tree? And then I thought, well, what if I make them so that you can put a gift card in there? So these are Ornament gift card tags. And this first one is a shaker. And sometimes shakers come together really easily, and sometimes they don't. This one gave me trouble. That's why there's only one shaker tag. But he's super cute. Look at this jolly Santa. And this is just Christmas trim that I had in my stash. Another little die from Eileen Hull. This is center stitch burlap ribbon in red. And you can see I just stitched a button on here. And now this can hang on a Christmas tree or a stocking hanger or whatever. Makes a really cute little ornament. But if you flip it over, on the back I've decorated as well. Put in a couple of little tags that I made just by cutting down scraps. And here's this really fun little gift card holder from Eileen Hull again. And your gift card could slip right in this pocket. Or you can leave it as it is, just as a decorated little tag. These are Graphic 45 square tags, and I did use the Graphic 45 square tag and clocks die to cover the front and the back. This is another little die just on the side to dress it up. So that's tag number 1. Tag number 2 is this sweet little girl. This is that frame from the Graphic 45 square tag and clock die. These numbers I die cut, I've had this die forever. I think it's been retired, but you could do any number or not do numbers, doesn't really matter. Some little buttons from Buttons Galore. They've got beautiful Christmas buttons, more gorgeous little birdie flowers, little rusty jingle bells, another little gold banner. Look at this flower with all these gorgeous, I didn't do that, that's how it came. How cool is that? Then this one is actually a little folio with a magnetic closure. And inside is that little gift card holder. So that's really cool. Room to put a photo. This is a tuck spot. So that's tag number 2. And then tag number 3 is this cute little gingerbread couple. I love them. I stickled their noses and I added little star sequins just to make them sparkle a little bit. More buttons. This is just Christmas trim that I had in my stash. This is emerald plaid ribbon, really reasonable ribbon, and just a flower that I had in my stash. There's part of that clock die just tucked in there as a layer, and this one is raised up on dimensionals. On the back, another little folio, and this one has a magnetic closure as well. Room to write a note, room to put in a photo. There's a place where you put your gift card. So super cute. Now, if you hang around, we're going to make one of these tags together. So you will know how to do that because I think they're such a fun gift. But this is Authentique Jingle. Don't go away. I'll be right back with the tutorial and we'll get our craft on. Okay, so let's get started building this cute little gift card tag ornament holder. This is a Graphic 45 square ivory tag. This one happens to be laser cut. That's because I have a bunch of them and I don't have any of the plain ones. So you can use any ivory square tag, or if you want to use craft or black, that's up to you too. So what I've done is I used a little tab die that I have in my stash. It's ancient. It was made by My Favorite Things, and I cut little tabs to go on either side. And I put those down there so I wouldn't forget to put them on. Then the next thing I did was I used the Graphic 45 tags and square tag and clock dies to cut the liner. So we're just going to adhere that. I've inked all my edges with frayed burlap distress ink because I like that vintage look, but that is strictly a matter of taste, and you need not do that if you prefer for it to be clear. I will tell you, here's a little tip. When you're putting these down, start at the top, center your liner around the grommet hole, and then lay your tag down, and that way you're going to be even all the way around. If you've been struggling with that, that should help you out a good bit. Now I have this lovely little border piece, and I'm just going to trim this down a tiny bit because it's a little bit long. And this is my cheater way. I just mark it with my fingernail, and then I come in with my scissors and I cut. And I'm going to cut an uneven edge so that it kind of mimics the way the component looked. And I'm just going to ink these edges very quickly with my frayed burlap. And then this goes down along the bottom, has a border. And there's that. The next thing is I've cut this small piece, and I'll measure it for you, of the Jingle paper. This is not quite 3, it's about 2 7/8, but about 3 5/8. It's actually a little under that, which is why I said about. And I'm going to put this down, which I should have done that before I did my border. But no worries, no one will ever know. And we're just going to peel this back a little bit. I want this to line up with this edge, and I want it kind of centered top and bottom. And now we'll just re-adhere our border. And our secret is safe. No one will ever know. Then I use the clock die and one of the cut apart images to cut the center, this image out in a circle, and then I cut the frame. And to strengthen the frame, I hit it with Versamark embossing powder, and then I heat embossed it with this Wow Neutral Ultra Shimmer Embossing Glitter, just to add a little bit of sparkle and shine. And we're just going to lay this down. And sometimes what I do, I'll show you. This is another trick. Just put your glue down. Make sure I'm in frame here. Yep. And I'm not really paying any attention to where I'm putting it. Then I'm going to take a little foam brush and I'm just going to brush my adhesive around. If you have those adhesive sheets that you can die cut while it's attached to adhesive, that would be very cool for this. I do not. So we're just going to lay this down. And because this is delicate, you want to just kind of pounce it down there as opposed to burnishing it, because I see we need a little more over here. And this is Art Institute Dries Clear Glitter Glue. Tamara at Country Craft Creations uses this a lot, and you can buy it from there. But you have to buy it before winter because they can't ship in winter because it will freeze. So now is a good time to stock up so that you'll have all of it that you need before winter comes. And we're just going to put our pretty little gal right there. Then I used Eileen Hull's Book Club die, and this is the one that has all the little tags, and I used two different ones. One has all the tags, one has the gift card holder and stuff. So this is a little tab from there, and I thought that would be cute to dress up that corner. And I just used a hole punch and inserted a brad. And I don't even know where this brad came from. It's been in my stash forever. I always get really enthusiastic with both Christmas and fall scrapbooking papers, and I end up, actually I want that up there higher. Well, it'll be fine. I get really enthusiastic with those two types of papers, and I end up with way more than I actually need. So it carries over from year to year. Then I used another My Favorite Things die. This is just, I can't remember if it's Big Numbers or something like that. I think it's retired, but you could use any die. And I've just put little foam dots on the back of this. And we're going to line this up with the bottom edge of our liner. Very cute. And then this is also an Eileen Hull die. And I just die cut that from a little scrap of gold paper. Metallic papers, I save every single little scrap because I love to use them at Christmas time. They're so pretty. All right, now Let's see, I'm going to flip this over at this point and we're going to do the back. And the reason for that is I don't want the front to get all bulky with ribbons and stuff. So I cut another liner. This is the cute little gingerbread house, and we're just going to adhere that. When do you start making your Christmas projects? I always want to get started really early. I always say to myself every year, this year I'm going to get started early. And every year it's last minute. I'll just burnish that down. And now we're going to put together this little gift card assembly, and we'll just go over the components of it. This is one of the 3x4 images, and I thought she was great because she's kind of a companion to the pretty lady on the front. And I die cut, I didn't die cut, I cut by hand this peppermint stripe paper. This is 3 by 4 1/8. And we're going to make sure I'm not getting ahead of myself here. All right, we'll do the left-hand side first. And this is the reverse side of the peppermint stripe. This little folio, I cut the paper to measure 5 by 4 1/8, and then I scored it at 3 1/8. Here is a basic gray magnet, and I like to put these down. Ginger Rop, my sister's scrapper, this is her instructions, and it really works. I put a little score tape there. And then we're just going to lay this panel of the holly paper over that and adhere, just like that. And then on this side, you're going, wait a minute, that doesn't, it's not going to show. Nobody's going to know. It's going to be just fine. I like to use my scraps. So I used a scrap. Oops, wrong way too. This is why I like to use glue that dries clear. Just burnish that down, get that extra glue up. Okay, so that I place this, you can see I've got my magnet here. And the way I figured out the placement of the magnets was I put this one on the back. And I did it here rather than under this panel because that's a lot of layers for the magnet to get through. And while they are strong, you know, they're not Superman strong. So this piece is die cut with the Eileen Hall gift card die. And it cuts this cute little scalloped pocket, and then there's another piece that cuts this designer piece, and then this just slips right into this pocket. So you can put a gift card in there, and you can also add a little note or something here, but I just put this in here for now because I wanted you to see how it works. I centered this, I put the magnet on the back of my gift card die first, and then I centered up the magnets. So as you can see, they meet. And now I will take my adhesive off of there, my liner off my adhesive. Don't put adhesive over these magnets because it does make them weaker. Tuck that down in. And I wanted this little peppermint stripe piece down the side. So now we'll bring our tag back in, and this is going to go right in the center here. Very, very cute. And we're just going to put our adhesive on. I always like to line up with the bottom edge because it helps me be straight. And you see that magnet holds that closed just as nice as you please. So there's room here to write a note, or this is from the components sheet, and this is just a little fussy cut Christmas tree from this piece of paper, and I just tucked this in here like a little tuck spot. Very, very cute. So that's the back of the tag. Now we'll finish the front. And I have prepared a piece of, this is red houndstooth check plaid from Really Reasonable Ribbon. And I'm going to run this through the top. So I folded it in half. I put it through the grommet. Now I'm going to pull the tails through the loop. And there's that. Then I tied a double loop bow. And I'm going to add my adhesive right here on the knot. And I'm going to just hold this in place, and while it's drying, I go in and I fuss the bow to make sure it looks the way I want it to look. And that should be set. And then to go on top of that, I tied another bow with gold metallic string, and that's going to go right on top. And then I took some jingle bells and I looped the same gold metallic string through those, and I'm just going to lay those there, and I'm going to bring in these beautiful little birdie flowers. I love little birdie flowers. These are Adelina Sangria. They come 10 in a packet, and I'm going to take this beautiful leaf cluster because they've already done all the work for me, but I am going to take this foam tab off the back, and I'm going to replace that with hot glue. So holding, get my loops out of there, holding these tails, I'm going to place my flower, and then I'll get those set where I want them to be, and I'm just going to let those set up for a minute. Then I made a smaller of this same bow, and I want this to go right down here. So cute. And this goes here, and then let's top that with this sweet little rose. Just like that. How pretty. And then I'm just going to take a couple of little green buttons. These are from Buttons Galore. These are not my vintage buttons, but they really are pretty. And I want a couple of these shiny, sparkly green buttons to just go against my die cut tab here. And this should be set up, so now I'm going to come in with my scissors and I'm going to trim this long tail so that it doesn't show. Just like that. Oops. There. So pretty. Look, it's got sparkle, it's got jingle. And then I'm going to take these two ribbon loops, and we want to fold them over on themselves like this. And cut our fishtail banners. Let me move this gold thread out of the way. And then I'm just going to take a little spot of hot glue right here, and I'm going to put this one on top of it, and I'm going to attach this pretty button. And this way you can hang this on the Christmas tree. You can hang it on a doorknob like a Christmas stocking. You can hang it on your mantle. And get all these glue webs off of here. But there you go. See, that was so easy. You could make buckets of these in no time. Just do all your die cutting at the same time and layer them up. I hope I shared some tips and tricks that you can use in your own crafty adventures. This is Authentique Jingle, and I'm Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. Thanks for stopping by. I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. I reply to every single comment. So if you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you on the journey. Thanks. Now go get your craft on. Bye.